Bleach, Thousand Year Blood War Episode 33, titled Gate of the Sun, adapts less than 2 chapters of manga material while treating us to over 10 minutes of anime original content in the episode's second half. This week's installment draws from chapters 629, 630, and 635 of the manga. After 2 episodes of build-up, the action finally resumes. Kenpachi and Mayuri step back into the spotlight, Grimmjow faces his first opponent, and Renji surprises us with an intense, anime-exclusive battle against Yuryu Ishida. The first half of the episode primarily adapts manga content, though some elements are reorganized, skipping chapters 631 to 634. Notably absent is Baz B's highly anticipated battle against Hashwolf. After the mid-card break, the episode shifts focus to several anime original scenes, with the highlight being Renji's intense showdown with Yuryu Ishida and a brand new flashback exploring Renji's training under a chibe. Gate of the Sun begins by showing us the landscape of the true world, and we see this huge Quincy cross with each of the Quincy Imperial Guards standing at each point. The episode begins with some anime original dialogue from the Quincy Emperor, who calls out to each of the Quincy Imperial Guard to tell them to graciously welcome the Soul Reapers who have dared to step foot within the true world, as he orders them to draw their blood so that they can celebrate the birth of the castle. Each of the Quincy Imperial Guard hears the Quincy Emperor's command as they teleport from the 5 separate points on top of this building, and it seems like a Gate of the Sun is located at the end of each point of this Quincy cross. After the opening song, the episode begins by adapting pages 4 to 6 of chapter 629. The anime introduces an exclusive scene featuring Shunsui speaking with Baz B, Lil Tato, and Giselle. During their conversation, Baz B declares that they have no intention of taking orders from the Soul Reapers and will go their separate ways. The anime does an excellent job of showcasing all the Soul Reapers and Visors preparing to set off, adding depth to the scene. Another anime original moment shows the Stern Ritter retreating into the shadows. While the manga focuses on a single group, the anime broadens the perspective, showing Yoruichi reacting to the spiritual pressure of the advancing Soul Reapers. This is followed by an additional scene of Ichigo's group heading out, seamlessly integrated into the narrative. After Kasuke remarks on Mayuri's absence, the episode shifts to Kenpachi and Mayuri, adapting pages 7 to 10 of chapter 629. This section is faithfully adapted from the manga, but it concludes with an anime original scene. In this edition, Kenpachi instructs Ikaku, Yumachika, and Hanataro to charge ahead while Mayuri and Nemu follow closely behind. Though a small moment, it adds valuable continuity to the story. In the manga, this part of the narrative contains abrupt scene transitions, but these thoughtful additions in the anime help to flesh out the unfolding events and maintain a smoother flow. The episode then continues adapting chapter 629, covering pages 11 to 15. However, a few panels from pages 11 and 12 are omitted. These panels feature a lighthearted comedic exchange between Ichigo and his group. In the manga, Ichigo remarks that he hadn't expected it to be so difficult to create a foothold in the royal palace. Chad humorously responds that he thought he was going to die at one point. Ichigo retorts, "How was I supposed to know?" adding that he wouldn't have tried to team up with Renji and Rukia if he had sensed their spiritual pressures. Yoruichi chimes in, pointing out that Yashiro made a similar mistake. This references the previous episode, where Yashiro, sensing Yoruichi's spiritual pressure, attempted to create a foothold but nearly fell off the royal palace. Yoruichi then quips that Yashiro and Ichigo seem equally smart. Ichigo, unsure if this is a compliment, hesitates, prompting Yoruichi to add sarcastically, "What part of that did you think was a compliment?" In the anime, this entire exchange is condensed into new, anime original dialogue. Orihime expresses her wish to meet up with Rukia, Renji, and the others. Ichigo agrees, adding that he wanted to join them too, but since they haven't been able to create a foothold, they have no choice but to fight separately for now. Chad also contributes to the conversation, though his dialogue differs from the manga. In the manga, Chad comments that while it would have been nice to regroup with the Soul Reapers, it's better not to spread themselves too thin, especially since the Quincy are already aware of their presence, eliminating the element of surprise. In the anime, however, Chad is more optimistic, stating that since they are all fighting the same enemy, they are bound to meet up eventually. The anime continues adapting content as a skin arrives on the battlefield, prompting Grimmjow to launch the first attack. From page 15 of chapter 629, the story jumps to page 6 of chapter 635, where Gerard finds himself at a dead end. Frustrated, he yells at Leelbaro, Pernita, and Askin, accusing them of giving him the short end of the stick. We then return to the end of chapter 629, where Basby, Lil Tato, and Giselle arrive near Silburn. Here, Basby boldly declares their intent to defeat Ashwolf and the Quincy King on their own. The anime seamlessly adapts the first 5 pages of chapter 630, transitioning to Grimjow's pursuit of Askin. The focus shifts back to chapter 635, adapting pages 7 to 11. This culminates in Askin releasing his gift ball, a deadly move that successfully knocks out Grimjow. The anime then adapts a few more pages from chapter 635, focusing on Leelbaro as he takes aim and begins eliminating the Soul Reapers. The scene shows him systematically shooting down Asagi, Omida, Santaro, Katsubaki, and Isane. The anime expands on these manga panels by depicting the Soul Reapers and the Visors splitting up. Meanwhile, Leelbaro delivers a chilling commentary about how all living things die when they stray from their pack. Shunsui, undeterred by the losses, urges the remaining Soul Reapers to press forward. The focus then shifts to anime original content, where Renji is shown rushing ahead only to be stopped by a volley of arrows fired by Yuryu. Several characters, including Shunsui, Urahara, Shinji, Suifeng, and Rukia, react to Yuryu's powerful spiritual pressure. Renji, undeterred, activates his Shurikai and charges toward Yuryu, who responds by firing an arrow that grazes Renji's cheek. This clash effectively sets up the second half of the episode. After this, we cut to the mid-card. The first mid-card provides additional details about the true world. The second mid-card focuses on Askin Luvar and his script ability, the Death Dealing. It explains that Askin can ingest a substance to determine its exact lethal dose and manipulate its quantity to poison his opponents. Even non-toxic substances like blood, oxygen, or spiritual power can become deadly if Askin adjusts their lethal dose. This ability clarifies how his gift ball was able to incapacitate Grimjow. The anime then returns to Renji and Yuryu as they exchange dialogue. Yuryu asserts that there is no future for the Soul Reapers, explaining that with the Quincy King having absorbed the Soul King, he has achieved his full power. When Renji asks if Yuryu has encountered Ichigo, Yuryu coldly replies that Ichigo survived their last battle but won't the next time they meet. This is all the motivation Renji needs as he charges toward Yuryu, fully prepared to engage in battle. The anime original fight between Renji and Yuryu kicks off with Yuryu firing a barrage of arrows. Renji skillfully evades them using high-speed movements and clashes with Yuryu using his Shurikai. Yuryu counters with his spiritual power bow, defending himself as the two exchange powerful blows. After several intense moments, Renji unleashes his Bankai, revealing its true form, Suzabimaru, which he previously showcased in his battle against Masked Masculine. Taking the fight to long range, Renji activates a technique called Snake Fang, extending his segmented blade to launch devastating strikes at Yuryu. He swings the blade with precision, using Snake King to slam Yuryu through a building. Though briefly overwhelmed, Yuryu recovers and counters with his bow, forcing Renji to remain on the defensive as the clash continues. The anime expands on Renji's abilities, showcasing his skeletal arm, covered in fur, as he blocks a relentless barrage of arrows from Yuryu. Demonstrating his adaptability, Renji retracts his blade and manipulates the snakehead to grab a massive boulder, which he hurls at Yuryu with immense force. Yuryu is momentarily restrained by the snakehead as Renji closes the distance. Charging his skeletal arm with spiritual power, Renji delivers a powerful blow that sends Yuryu hurtling through multiple buildings, leaving a trail of destruction as he crashes to the ground. Renji impales Yuryu with his blade, unleashing his powerful Snake Fang technique. While this attack was strong enough to defeat Masked Masculine, Yuryu survives by activating his Blood Guise, shielding himself from the full force of the strike. Undeterred, Yuryu counters by activating his Holy Form, summoning enhanced Quincy arrows that converge into a single massive projectile. Renji manages to deflect its trajectory, causing it to disperse above the true world and showcasing its devastating destructive potential. Yuryu retaliates by firing a barrage of arrows, which Renji blocks using his skeletal arm. In a stunning display of ability, the fur-covered arm transforms into multiple skeletal appendages that momentarily restrain Yuryu. As the Quincy struggles to break free, Renji declares that he needs just 20 seconds to prepare his next move. At this point, the anime cuts to a flashback of Renji training with Ichibe. This scene builds on episode 18, where Ichibe had revealed the true name of Renji's Bankai, Suzabimaru. In this new flashback, Ichibe praises Renji for giving form to his technique but notes that it dissolves quickly without sufficient spiritual power. He advises Renji to imbue Suzabimaru with more spiritual power to maintain its shape and power, estimating that Renji would need 20 seconds of focused preparation to achieve maximum effectiveness. Returning to the present, Renji leaps into the air, swinging his sword to gather an immense amount of spiritual power in the sky. He activates his ultimate finishing move, Snake Fawn, creating a colossal ball of spiritual power, which he hurls toward the restrained Yuryu. Before we see the outcome, the anime transitions to Mayuri and Kenpachi. Observing the distant clash, Kenpachi comments on the flashy fight, dismissing it as meaningless. Mayuri, in turn, teases Kenpachi's love for brute force battles while adding that he himself prefers more intellectual engagements. Their banter briefly lightens the mood before the two shift their focus back to their mission as they head deeper into the true world. Back at Renji and Yuryu's battle, a massive crater marks the aftermath of Renji's devastating attack. Yuryu, though injured, survives and recovers using a previously unseen technique called Flutter's Winger. This ability summons 5 lines of Quincy arrows in the sky, forming a pentagonal barrier around Renji that completely drains his spiritual power. Yuryu explains the devastating effect of this ability: it takes everything from its target, leaving them unable to access their Shurikai or Bankai. Renji collapses, his Suzabimaru reverting to its sealed state. Desperate, Renji struggles to gather enough spiritual power to reactivate his Bankai, but his depleted reserves limit him to summoning only a skeletal arm without its fur covering. With it, he fires a weak baboon bone cannon, but the attack disperses harmlessly when it collides with Yuryu's arrow. In a shocking turn, Yuryu counters with a precise shot that pierces through Renji's chest. Some fans speculate that the arrow may have struck Renji's chain of fate, potentially killing him or rendering him permanently powerless. As Renji collapses to the ground, Yuryu coldly explains the reasons for his defeat. First, Renji subconsciously avoided targeting Yuryu's vital points. Second, he underestimated Yuryu's strength and mastery of new techniques. Finally, and most chillingly, Yuryu states that Renji lost simply because he is a soul reapers, the very thing Yuryu despises most. This declaration starkly underscores Yuryu's shift in character, leading fans to question his true motivations. Is Yuryu acting of his own accord, or is he under the Quincy Emperor's influence? The episode concludes without a post-credit scene, cutting to the credits after Renji's apparent defeat. The final moments are both shocking and emotionally charged, with Yuryu's cold and calculated demeanor solidifying him as a true antagonist. The anime's decision to expand on Yuryu's character and make him more ruthless than in the manga adds a new layer of tension to the story, raising the stakes for what's to come. Looking ahead, next week's episode is titled Baby, Hold Your Hand, named after Bleach Volume 71. This hints that Mayuri's major fight is next on the agenda. In the manga, Mayuri's battle with Pernita takes place after Bazbia's fight with Hashwolf, but the anime has rearranged the order of events, skipping chapters 631 to 634. By prioritizing Mayuri's confrontation with Pernita, the anime sets up one of the manga's most intricate and detailed battles. Fans can expect a faithful adaptation with minimal anime original content. This week's episode delivered a lot, from Renji's gripping anime original battle with Yuryu to expanded moments from the manga. The balance between adapted and original material was masterfully handled, with stunning animation that seamlessly integrated into the story. Highlights included the Schutzstaffel's tense interactions with Shunsui, Leelbaro's deadly sniper assault, and Askin's strategic clash with Grimjow. Renji's defeat at Yuryu's hands served as a climactic conclusion to an episode packed with twists, setting the stage for the final phase of the 1000-year Blood War arc. What are your thoughts on this week's episode of Bleach? Did you enjoy the anime original content, especially Renji's fight with Yuryu? How do you feel about the delay of Hashwolf versus Bazbi, and are you excited for Mayuri's upcoming battle in episode 34? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching.